So I left this Red Bull in the car last night and it froze, and now it's kind of like a Red Bull slushie, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. So I am full on haircut mode today, just back-to-back haircuts. So we're gonna go get our morning meeting started, get everybody on the same page so that we can attack Saturday, last day of the week. But man, everybody has been killing it and I'm so proud of them. We actually, our monthly projections for the first time in a long time are up over last year's projections, which just feels so rewarding. But we gotta get the day started. In between guests, and I thought a good thing to do on the vlog today would be to answer some questions. Alright, so first question is, I would like to post something in my salon for clients that don't show up for appointments. Any ideas would be appreciated. Also, is it even legal to charge for a service that wasn't performed? Well, first, if you post something in the salon and they don't show up, how are they going to see it? But truthfully, I think that this is probably something that is better placed in your confirmation emails, on your website. Maybe if you still have a printed menu, that's where I would post it. I think that sometimes when you go into places and there's like rules and everything up on the wall, it just doesn't have the right feeling, you know? And I would assume that we want to create a happy, excited environment, and I just think that having like all that stuff posted can just get to like a negative kind of feeling. In terms of legality, yeah, I think that it's perfectly fine as long as it's stated up front that you have a cancellation policy. You can certainly charge for that time. In terms of doing it, however you have like credit card deposits or things locked in, that is like a whole separate thing, but you certainly can do this. Do you charge hourly, and if so, was it difficult to transition? I'm changing my pricing to hourly and needing some advice or reassurance in all of it. So I definitely have noticed a lot of people moving to this trend where instead of charging by the service, you're charging by the hour. I think it's interesting. I haven't directly done that, but what I have done in constructing our menu is our service prices are based off of the standard amount of time that it takes us. So generally speaking, we're booking like 45 minutes to an hour for a haircut. I know what it costs us as a business to operate for 45 minutes to an hour. So based off of that, that's how then I have designed and built the menu, is to compensate for that time. So while it's not directly saying we charge for an hour, it is what we charge for an hour, and then I use that to build out the color services, the blonding services, the texture services. So there is a formula to it, but it's not directly just saying 1 hour is $70. So I have a roughly 8x8 space and I'm thinking about building it into a salon. Does a space that size work for a salon suite? To be honest, I don't think so. I don't think that 8x8 is going to be big enough. Out on the floor, we have it spaced, well, pre-COVID times, but the actual design of the floor is I have 5.5 feet or maybe 6 feet off of center between chair to chair. I think it's 5.5. And so, you know, that's with open walls and everything. And sometimes it can feel a little bit close. Now, if you're only by yourself, you're not backing up into somebody. But if you end up with like a wall or like your station in there, I would think that it's going to start to feel very, very tight if you have only 8 feet by 8 feet. Could it be doable? Yeah, of course you and your client can fit in there. I just don't know that it's going to provide the space for you to actually keep your station, your stuff, and like have a good flow to it. What do you charge for dusting very long curly hair? This isn't a cleaning service, so we don't dust anything. But if we're doing a haircut on very long curly hair, it's a haircut, and it's the same price as a regular haircut. I'm feeling defeated lately. I feel like I can't keep my head above the water. I'm spending $100 to $200 a week in products, and I'm averaging about $500 a week in service. On top of that, I'm spending $75 a week on my booth rental, and I'm barely bringing anything home. Any advice on getting over this hump? So this actually, it's coming down to a couple of things. One, from a service standpoint, we want to boost those services. We want to be able to be doing more than $500 a week. Now, I know that you know that. We all know that. But I don't know your schedule. So I'm not going to stand here and say, like, this is what you need to do. On the other side, if we are comfortable taking home the $500, your cost to goods should be closer to like 10% at the high end. Ideally, you'd like to be more around 5 to 7%. So if you're doing $500 in services, you really should only be spending about $50 a week in product cost. So my thought immediately is, how much are you using of the products that you're using? You know, if you're having to stock a bunch of different stuff, just like I randomly use this for this client and I randomly use this for this client, and you have a whole bunch of partially open things, that could be one challenge. The other thing is just overusing stuff. You know, if you're going through like multiple tubes of color, but also then not having a separate service charge for that, that is where you're running into losing everything. You know, so really look at your product usage and how you can get that down, unless you want to, you know, be raising prices and things like that. Focus on cutting your costs instead of just thinking like, how do I get more people in? What are some tried and true referral programs? The only way, zip, zero, nada, no other solution to this. The only way to have a good referral program is to be recommendable. That's the only way to do it. There is no like point system. There is no like, if I hand a business card upside down, that gets them to do it. There's no other way other than providing recommendable service to the people, having them fall in love with it, and then they tell their friends. Then they post on Instagram. Then they share it on Yelp or Google or whatever. And it all comes down to understanding expectations, listening to the client, having the knowledge to be able to deliver that awesome experience, that great result that they are looking for, and then they will come back and then they will start to tell people about it. That's it. There's no other way. Just doing consistently good work over length of time, and then they do it. So I know that that's not like the answer that people want. Like oftentimes when we ask questions like this, we're hoping that there's some like magic spell, some trick that we can do, but there isn't. The only way to get recommendations is to be recommendable and do awesome work consistently and deliver for that client. So this is Isa. Isa loves terrible jokes, and I love telling terrible jokes. And she laughs way too much at them. So you ready?
No.
Why couldn't the bike stand up on its own?
Why?
It was too tired. It's terrible. It's a terrible joke.